Force number 2. Man, this has been fantastic. We have the new, we have the old, working together, shooting up, and digital printing of humans. Crazy stuff. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Long Box Diving, where we explore comics and story arcs pulled from the long box. Now, X-Force number 2. Benjamin Percy writing, Cassara doing the arts, and both fantastic. Now, the art's a little dark, but I get the idea, being that it's the X-Force, right? They're killing people, they're doing things, they're the undercover CIA Black Op. Makes sense here to have it a little bit darker. It's not even as dark as Fallen Angels. It's still dark, but not that dark. So I like it. It actually is done very well. It's a great story, and we come off the last issue where a group of humans skydived into Krakoa, shot a bunch of mutants, and shot. Spoiler warning: if you have not read issue 1, you need to stop this recording and go do whatever you're doing, and read that first, and then come back and you can watch this. So you've been warned. So in issue 1, these guys with Reaver type guys jumped in Halo out of 60,000 feet, dropped on the island, shot up a bunch of mutants, and shot Xavier right there through the Cerebro helmet and killed Charles Xavier. We had a bunch of guys with purge masks surrounding Domino. It looks like Domino got captured by a bunch of guys in purge masks. So some crazy stuff going on here, and that's where we pick up in X-Force number 2. Now, my opinion, one of the books that's going to stick around for a while. This has been probably the best book in the X-Men line by far. Definitely a great read. So we have Magneto here. He grabs the Cerebro helmet, rebuilds it, and it's like, hey, this was your plan, your island, your future, so it will remain as long as you are with us. Now, this is a great panel shot of Charles Xavier laying there with a bullet hole through his head. Magneto's floating above him with the Cerebro helmet, and you have all these mutants here. Now, we just talked about, like on Twitch, all the mutants that haven't shown up yet. Which ones do you want to see? Now, and in this picture, some of them are here. Some of the ones I even picked are here. We see Firestar there. We see Feral there. We see Longshot or Shatterstar there. We see Magma sitting over here. Some guy here who was on the team a long time ago that I haven't seen in a long time. Warpath. Banshee. I was thinking about Banshee. Zorn's here. Dakin. Some dude with an elephant trunk. I don't know who that is either. But there's a lot of people in this picture. A lot. And some of them are mutants that we haven't seen yet. So technically made their appearance in House of X, Dawn of X, Powers of X, whatever we call it. And so that was cool. But Xavier's dead. So he calls over. Now this brings into question. Now, the whole idea of Resurrection was built around the 5 mutants who were going to do the egg thing, and then Xavier would download the consciousness of the person that had been backed up in storage into these people's minds to bring them back. But with no Xavier, with no Cerebro helmet, how's that going to work? Now, I don't think they've ever done disaster recovery testing, so they're not sure 100% if this would work. This would have been cool if they'd... I'm a tech guy. So if he had done disaster recovery testing and somebody shot Xavier through the head and killed him, and then they brought him back just to prove that they could, that would be really psycho. But that would have been the test, right? Can we recover from a loss of Xavier? Is he the bottleneck? Is he the junction? Is he the single point of failure? We need to figure that out now. But that's just me, kind of warped. But here they have, Magneto sends the helmet over to Jean, say, hey, you are their next best. You're on the council. You need to figure out how to get this going. And she's like, I don't know if we can. No, it's not about if we can. You have to do this. And it's interesting that Magneto changes the helmet into a sword. Because, it's like the sword of Damocles. Like, the one that's hanging over somebody's head and it's always falling down. It's kind of like, that to me is kind of what he's feeling right now is, without Xavier, we're in a lot of trouble. Until you can get this up and running, every mutant is vulnerable. You need to get this up and running. So she takes Hank and they go into one of the cradles. Now, the stuff is supposed to be built up over 5 different places, backed up in 5 different places. One of them being Cradle 1. So she brings Hank into Cradle 1 to get Cerebro back online, and then they start talking about this faith, right? We know what faith is: believing, believing in things, that you can't necessarily see, and trusting and believing that that thing is going to happen, or it will do what it's supposed to do, or it will accomplish whatever goal that we need it to accomplish. Usually, faith is tied to a religious aspect, which is interesting here because it's like, I know you're scientists, but I need you to have faith. So I don't know where that's going, whether they're going to tie it to a religious thing or not. I don't know. But then we get the Healing Gardens, and we have Black Tom Cassidy there. He is really feeling like it's his fault. That's cool. But again, it's not the normal Black Tom Cassidy that we're used to seeing. What we're used to seeing is a guy that was over in Excalibur, this flamboyant, over the top, doing his own thing. Yeah, that was him. But Benjamin Percy's writing him pretty straight here, in a sense of responsibility, and I need to take care of things, and I want to make sure everybody's safe. That's cool. I like that. But so we see they got the people there, these ones that dived in from Halo jumps, and what they're coming to say that they're kind of fitted like the Reavers. Now, if you remember the Reavers back from the Claremont one back in Australia, Donald Pierce was part of the Hellfire Club, and then you had these Reavers who were all cyborgs and had technological implants, and they were cyborgs, right? And they would come in and fight the X-Men, and so that's kind of what they have here. But it was leaps and bounds above that. They have fast twitch fibers in their muscles. They had a bone claw that was inserted into their forearm. It'd be like a last resort. Their ears had like spools of wire that could be used as a grout. All these different things were built into their bodies. And Wolverine comes in and said, "Hey, is there somebody still alive? And keep him alive because we know they have Domino, and if they have Domino, we need to get her out. We need to protect her and get her safe because she was sent on this mission to figure out." There was some, I can't remember exactly why. There's a white paper here. But they sent her on the mission. She was captured by these Purge Mask dudes. Now, Wolverine doesn't know that per se, but he knows that she is in trouble because they found skin grafts on these Reaver guys that is her DNA. So that's why it fooled the island in thinking that Domino was coming home, or skydiving home. But it fooled the island because they grafted it into their own skin. So obviously they've got Domino. And so he's like, keep him alive. Let Jean Grey read his mind. And like, well, where are you going? He goes, I'm going hunting. Now he gets to the airport that the guys had taken the airplane from. Now can you imagine the old dude, Wolverine, is trying to hack a computer. No, I don't mean slice the computer with his claws. I mean literally trying to hack the computer. And that's where the funny part starts up. And he goes, it had the mix of some body spray, strawberry soda, with a dash of locker room funk. He goes, right, it's Kid Omega. So Kid Omega's back now. This is like, to me, this is how you write a younger person versus an older person, right? Kid Omega is this young, hip, whatever, and Wolverine's the boomer. And it's played off like that. But also on the flip side, you got the voice of reason to this kid. Now the kid's saying things, we see it later through this, they're saying we're the gods of these people, we're superior, and Xavier finally agrees with my mentality, we're superior, we're better, and they should fall down and worship us, and we should be the gods of these people, and that kind of stuff. Wolverine's like, I don't like how you're talking, that sounds stupid, that's not. So you see the philosophy here that's being set up. You got this group that wants to be superior and they can worship us, and you got the group that's like, let us just live on the island and be alone and be our own nation, and they can just leave us alone. I liked that writing. I liked splitting it up. I like seeing the both sides of that situation. And where do you fall? Do you fall somewhere in the middle? I mean, that would be normal. Or are you going one side or the other? And we all have the sides that we agree with, but he's not writing either is wrong. They both have their opinions. They're both not necessarily wrong. They're both not necessarily right. But we see it here where Kid Omega's over on this side of the spectrum, like we're gods and they can worship us. And Wolverine's over here on this side where, hey, let's just leave us in peace, yeah, and leave us alone. It's like, I appreciate the righteous anger, kid, but we should head back to whatever Krakoa and preschool you escaped from. I love this. He also hacked Wolverine's credit. I don't have a credit card. Yeah, I do now. Or yeah, you did. So we go back to Hank. Hank's still trying to get the helmet working and he, you know, this faith thing, he actually starts saying prayers. Only one prayer I remember. Again, I'm not sure where they're going with this faith prayer thing, but they still haven't gotten the helmet working yet, so they still can't bring Xavier back yet. So, and he seems really worried about it. So Kid Omega and Wolverine get to this warehouse that they finally track down, and there's a psychic dampening thing here. So Kid Omega is like almost useless right now. And Wolverine and them walk in, and they see that they're 3D printing humans, and you actually see the body of a new assassin being created, kind of like just the brain, eyes, the optic nerves and stems, and the spinal column, the nerves. They're 3D printing human assassins. That's crazy stuff, and not really that far off of what we can do now, honestly, probably. So Jean Grey comes. And it's like, you know, Wolverine left, so I should have stopped. No, Wolverine does what Wolverine does, and he's the best at what he does. Leave Wolverine alone. Yeah, he should have contacted the council, but hey, who's going to stop? Could you have stopped him? No. So then we get this great panel. Jean Grey decides to read his mind, and it got the great panel. Like all these purge masks are like melding into her eye, and she's like seeing everything about this dude, and all the information that she needs from him. And it's like, says, Jean, what do you see? And she says, I don't know. That's also kind of freaky. Is she not understanding what she's seeing with all those masks, or what it means, or if she can't read that guy's brain because he doesn't necessarily have a conscience? I don't know. But something's crazy going on here. We see Kid Omega, and again in this like guy, he only has like he has a standing up, has no skin. He's just musculature that's looked like he's been finished printing, and he like jumps at the kid, and the kid's like trying to do his psychic stuff, and he can't do his psychic stuff, and Wolverine's like, hey, you know, you got fists, you got feet, you got teeth, animal instinct, try it out sometime. Hey, when the powers don't work, man, start punching things. Get busy. Don't stand there and whimper. Start fighting. And sometimes we as mutants, and that's what it's like, we as mutants, we're going to have to fight. We're going to have to use what is available to do the job, to get the job done. That's what X-Force is. I love that. So he finally, like the thing's crawling. It's just a head on a spine, and the Kid Omega kicks it. And they say, hey, and Wolverine say, I'll take care of this. You go find Domino. And we get this great last panel, and I won't tell you about it. I won't show you either, but it was a great last panel. Now, man, the story's been great so far. Benjamin Percy is doing a great job on this book. It's been fantastic. He writes everybody, Wolverine, really well. Writes all of them really, really well. And I like the dichotomy that he's showing between the two sides of this argument. Are they going too far in this extremist, supremacist, ethno-state type thing over here? Or is it more of the old traditional, just let us be on our island alone? And we see those two sides. Wolverine, we see the young millennial hipster, and then we see the old boomer in Wolverine trying to hack that computer. That's great. But the writing's been fantastic. The art's been fantastic. Definitely I recommend. And I think one of the 3 books that is going to stick around, Fallen Angels, X-Force. And right now, X-Force is cream of the crop, top of the heap. It is the best book of the Dawn of X series right now running. So definitely, if you're not on this, you should get on this soon. And I really enjoyed reading it. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. And if you do, like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time here in the Long Box.